Situated on the shores of the Kilvan Cove in the largely unpopulated, mostly commercial area of Bloomfield on Staten Island's west shore sits Con Edison's Gothos substation, a 345,000 volt link in the island's power grid. I came here today on an unusually cool and windy spring afternoon to meet Jamal Stafford, one of the senior substation operators who work here. I came to ask a few questions about the job and the role that the station plays in our lives. In my pre-interview with Mr. Stafford, I learned the Gothos substation has a designation as a transmission and distribution substation, which means it is not only a link in a much larger chain of power supply as a transmitter, but it is also capable of distributing to local energy consumers. The role of each substation depends on the needs of the system and the area it is located in. Due to security protocols enacted by the Office of Homeland Security following the events of 9/11, we are not allowed to film anything on the grounds of the station. And in the wake of the recent Boston bombings, our original clearance to film in the office was restricted. We were, however, allowed to conduct the interview in one of the station's storage areas, conditional to us not revealing its location. Another, a secure area, I guess, so we can do this interview real quick. And first of all, how long have you been with Con Ed?
Since November '99.
November '99.
Yeah, I started off as a meter reader and did that for 2.5 years. Then came into substation operations.
Substation, and now you are the senior substation operator.
Yeah, that's a title that all of us start out as a general utility worker, then you become an assistant operator, then you become a senior operator. It's about a 2-year process to become a senior substation operator. And basically, we're in charge of the substation. We are the go-to guy.
Okay, so as the substation operator, what are your daily duties?
Well, we issue work permits. We make sure that the work is safe for the working groups to perform their tasks. We process feeders, which are cable runs that leave the substation and they energize different parts of the network. So we take those things out of service so that the working groups can work on these things safely and without being electrocuted. We also regulate and monitor the electricity that are being produced and transmitted throughout the substation and throughout a network. We're in charge of security. We're the go-to people.
Okay. Now, at a substation, what goes on at the substation? Like what?
Substations are basically because electricity has to be transmitted long distances. They have substations throughout the system. And basically, you can transmit. We transmit from the substation that we're in here. We have 3 voltages. You have 345 kV, you have 138, and you have a 33 kVR. The 345 is more transmission, so that's going to be pushed along distances. The 138 is being stepped down from 345 to 33,000 volts. Now, 33,000 volts goes out into the networks, goes onto the street poles, goes under the ground. So again, we're just transmitting and distributing power in the substation.
Okay. Now, do you generate electricity here?
Con Edison no longer generates electricity due to the deregulation. We buy power now. So you have various different entities, NRG, which we get the power from on Staten Island here. Then you have Linden Cogen, which we get that from another substation. We also have 2 feeders that leave Staten Island that go into Gowanus into Brooklyn. And we can backfeed the electricity from Brooklyn to Staten Island and vice versa.
Okay. Now, what, as the island's first African-American operator, has the challenges been, if any?
No real challenges. In this day and age, I think it's not not a taboo thing. There was no hoopla about it. It was just, I'm a substation operator. That's how my peers view me.
Okay. Now, how did Superstorm Sandy affect the operation of the station?
Well, during the storm, we basically lost the entire yard. The salt water, it damaged some electrical wiring, which is used to control various pieces of equipment. Ultimately, opening breakers, losing network feeds, opening disconnects. So the station was basically shut down due to the water, coming that far up. First time in history has a storm affected a substation the way it did. Right now, they're doing provisions. We're still seeing the effects of it. I don't think you've seen them all yet, but as they arise, we're dealing with the situations as they come. I foresee us seeing more issues come summer time when the station and the system is definitely tested.
Okay, so basically, when the weather gets warmer, people start using more electricity, then more problems come up.
That's when you're going to see it. That's when you'll see the most of the drain on the system itself, is when you have a high load on the system. And being that the system was compromised in the way that it was because of the storm, and we really haven't seen the effects of it because the system hasn't been tested. It's not something you can just put a battery in and test the system. You have to wait till there's generation on, there's load on it, to really see what the effects have done to this system. Just like anything, just like your household wiring. If you overload that circuit, the circuit's going to pop to protect it. Same situation with the substation, just on a larger scale.
Okay, all right. Well, we'd like to thank you for your time.
No problem.
Done.
Thank you.